Great to have you there. Hopefully you're ready. We are gonna go for one main experience. We're looking at the ROG Strix Arion. What is the Arion? It is a USB-based NVMe adapter, and I'm hopeful that this is going to give us incredible speeds. Now, what are we testing? Well, we're going to look at USB 2, USB 3, USB Type-C, all the common types we usually run into. Question is, can we reach 1,000 megabytes read and write? Is that the case to purchase, or is there a more effective one? Is this the way to finally get rid of that bottleneck of like 30 megabytes per second on your USB transfers? Well, let's give this a look. Very well packaged. And oh, that's our key there. Very important, take note of the key. Okay, there's our device there, very well packaged. We can feel the quality in this one, great. Okay, it's looking really good. Oh, a bit of sticky tape there, gonna need a blade to get through that one, I think. Yep, a few seconds later, definitely need that blade. Way too tough to get through. Try not to damage the product as you do this, that wouldn't be ideal. Okay, there it is. Check out the specifications off on the right hand side. It is quite the monster, and it is compatible with all the classical NVMe lengths that we run into in the consumer market. It's great for that purpose. It's a really well designed, very nice aluminium extrusion finish here. Feels like quality. Okay, let's see what else is in the box. So the key, critical, that allows us to open up the NVMe enclosure itself, so don't lose that one. Okay, this here must be our clip, and that must be a protective casing. So it feels, again, really sturdy, nice rubber finish. Very well packaged, almost impossible to get out. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's looking really tidy. I think that's going to make for a very cool enclosure. Is there anything else? Always check underneath. There's bound to be a secret compartment, and what do you know? There's the important stuff. Okay, we got USB 3 to USB-C, and that's a USB-C to USB-C. So I'd recommend the USB-C over the USB 3, and you'll see why when we do our testing. Okay, there's our instruction manual. Always important, check these out. Okay, that's really clear, very well laid out. Interesting. Now, normally I throw these away, but this one's so well laid out, we may just as well have a look. So they do give us a nice outlay of what's compatible, and it must be the NVMe M and B&M key, but it's not compatible with the M key AHCI SSD. It's a slightly older format, so definitely take a look at that. There's the position for the key right next to the USB-C slot, fairly important, and then it just lifts out. Okay, the rest of that looks straightforward. Let's enjoy the 10 gigabytes per second. Or is that gigabits per second? Very important to know the difference. I believe it's gigabits. Let's do this. What else is in here? Okay, let's have a quick read. I'm fluent in all languages. Let's quickly fly through this, no trouble. Okay, yep. Okay, now I know everything there is to know now. Let's do this. Oh, that looks really tidy. I don't know how this works. We'll figure that out a little bit later. That does look like a quality piece, nice and sturdy. Okay, while I tidy up, let's check this out. A little bit dust already. No, that does look really good. Very nice finish. So relatively large for an NVMe enclosure, but this should still fit into your pocket without any troubles. Unless you're wearing skinny jeans, in which case, good luck to you. Okay, a little bit of print there, can't quite make it out, but you guys will see that in better lighting, and there's our RGB. Beautiful. Okay, let's check this out. So there's that tiny keyhole. Got the key, and we just insert, very similar to cell phones. A lot of these modern day cell phones use the same thing. Oh, there's something in there, but we can see it. Okay, a bit of cardboard came with it, but that's fine. Let's check this out. Okay, so we'll get rid of the cardboard. Warning label. Warning, NVMe will go super fast when using this device. Okay, no worries, let's get rid of that. Okay, there it is. That is our thermally conductive silicone pads, very useful. They help to reduce those temperatures, or we'll test it. Hopefully it does. So there's our mounting screw there. It looks like it could be undone by hand, which is great. And there's our 4 convenient NVMe sizes. And there's our M key mounting point, or M and B, but it must be an NVMe. Very important. Okay, so let's see if we can get something started here. But first, what's our competitor look like? Well, there it is, the EZCAST NVMe adapter. These guys are really cheap, the adapter that is. And right now, it's still holding the 970 from part 1 of this video series. So let's get in, retrieve that 970. It's done some really hard benching in this adapter. Time to switch and put the Strix Orion to the test. Or Orion, sorry, not sure how to pronounce that one. There it is. So first things first, magnetize. Very important. Helps us to not lose any of these screws. Already lost one, don't want to lose another. Okay, that's excellent. So, little trick getting into these, and beautiful magnetization there. The adapter doesn't always let go, so grab your USB-C cable, quickly insert. In this case, it's brand new. I'll have to open it up. There it is. And very simply, extrude your NVMe, assuming there was an NVMe in there to begin with, which they don't come supplied. Okay, there it is. Very easy. Now, in the last video, I did mount this with 2 screws. You'll notice on that one there's only 1, and I'll give you a quick breakdown of how that works. In the meantime, let's do this. So a single screw from the back, you can invert the standoff, the little copper standoff. There it is. And once you do that, it holds the NVMe, but maybe not as securely. You'll see it's a little bit loose. But it does still keep it in place and only needs 1 screw, and it was way easier to fit than the alternative double screw method. So let's go for it. We'll undo that. Nice and blurry action. NVMe comes out, retrieved, thank you, and nice side-by-side comparison there. So a clear size difference. Question is there a performance difference? Now, in terms of fitment for this particular one, just keep an eye out for these grooves on the side. They do have a rather big roll in terms of getting this adapter to slot back into its place. Really simple, just make sure you align it correctly. I recommend going for the open side first, which is that one there. Quick rotate, and then it just slides in without fault. But very important, check the alignment to make sure it goes in smoothly without problems. Okay, let's get on to it. Next part. So here's our brand new adapter. First thing we'll be removing the screw, which thankfully can be undone by hand. That's really rare, and absolutely approve that function. That's really cool. Much easier barehanded, so keep that in mind. Okay, there it is. And very gentle. Let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see the pin allocations there. So very important to look for that M key. Make sure you align your NVMe perfectly. And you just gradually work your way in. No fuss on that one. You'll see it stands out on a bit of an angle. That's perfectly normal. That's how they're meant to fit. But that's why we need the standoff to pin them down. Okay, so with that down, this is a bit delicate. Took a couple of minutes to get this sucker in the right place. So take some time. Be careful there. You'll notice the copper standoff has a little cutout, and you have to get the cutout into the PCB or in between the PCB to really keep it in place. Creates a little air gap as well, which I'm sure helps with heat transfer. Okay, there it is. So gentle on these screws, make sure you don't strip them, and there it is. Okay, so that's looking really tidy, and I am certain this is going to perform really well. You can see our RGB up the top there as well, and a nice strip there, so hopefully that's going to create quite a nice bit of scenery for us. And obviously USB down the bottom. Okay, there's our thermally conductive heat pads, so these should make quite a difference in the thermals, or at least I'm hopeful. Take note, those little hooks and these little standoffs, shall we call them, are the mounting mechanism. So they're very important to make sure you align them correctly. They only fit one way around, but take a little bit of time just to eyeball that out, make sure it's correct. And once it's down, you should be able to just give it a gentle nudge and it'll lock into place. Just like that. Excellent. Yeah, always good to do the drop test. Perfect. Okay, so next part. This is our rubber enclosure. So this will be for drop protection. Best not to drop it, but a bit of magic and we're done. Okay, next part. No, it's okay. I'll show you guys how to do it. It's actually really difficult. So very precise fit, as you would expect from ROG. But making our way through, so notice the little thing here that's very fragile on that bottom corner. So if you put a lot of tension on there, it could tear. So I'm going to recommend going the other way around. So first insert the bottom. That gives you a nice flush fit on the most fragile part. And then the upper part should have a little bit of flex. You can stretch that over. But definitely take your time. Try not to accidentally tear it. That would be horrifying. Okay, there it is. Easy. Now, still got our USB-C exposed, but you do cover off the pinhole. Not that it matters, because you won't be opening this up. Perfect. Okay, that's looking really tidy. Now, next part. Where's that clip? Yeah, there's that little key. Don't lose it. Put it somewhere. Maybe with your important belongings. Computer belongings. Okay, there it is. So, nice little clip. We've got a little hook. And presumably you just throw this on there. Let's test it. Boom. Oh, done. That was easy. That's okay. I'll show you guys how to do it properly. But pretty cool. Okay, so it doesn't work like that. You have to undo the strap. There's a bit of Velcro there. Once you've got that undone, you can find a nice slot for it. I think it'll probably fit on both, but I'm going to go for the upper. So you just work your way through. Make sure to check that the RGB and I guess the R of our clip align. My first fitment was the wrong way around, but a bit of cinematic editing, you won't even notice. Okay, there it is. Beautiful. Oh, B-roll. Another one. That does look really good. So there it is, ROG Strix Arion. Let's put it to the test. Bit of a clash out. Who's going to win? EZCAST or the ROG Orion? Check out those specifications while we're here. Very, very important to keep track of our testing. Question is it going to be better than a standard USB? Well, I can guarantee it's going to be better than that. Those USBs are really slow. It doesn't matter the brand, they're all a little bit on the slow end. So what are we testing? We're using hardware info, passmark disk check, crystal disk info, passmark performance test, crystal disk mark. All of those we used in the making of this data. So what computer are we using? We're using the HP Z420. Quick revisor there of our testing conditions, and there's the HP Z420 details. This one was only used for USB 2, only because it's in a convenient location. The Z840 was used for USB 3 and USB-C testing. There's our first data, the EZCAST 970, fitted, tested on USB 2.0. That means USB 2.0 is terrible, don't use it. The speeds are way, way slower than your modern day USB 3 or even USB-C. Still worthy of a test. You guys may still be running USB 2. Highly recommend that you update if you are. Next specification there, USB 3. Again, comparing the EZCAST versus the ROG Orion. And we can see a very, very nice jump, but in that particular case, the EZCAST actually seemed to perform slightly better, which was unusual, but clearly the ROG is designed for a USB-C format. So let's check these data points. So we got 1,000, we got over the 1,000, that's great. So no troubles on the EZCAST with the 970 EVO Plus, and when we fitted the ROG with the 970, we got slightly higher peak, and the numbers are a little bit variable, but overall I'm going to say those are fairly equivalent. So we can confirm the EZCAST isn't a bottleneck. The real question is thermals. We'll get to that. So conclusions there, have a look at those. Let's jump into the next question. Can we reach 1,000? Yes, we reached 1,000 now. For reference, there is the 970 EVO fitted onto a PCIe adapter in the motherboard. And there's another comparison, the NGFF, the older form factor M.2 drive. So really slow. So can we get to 1,000? Absolutely. Both of those adapters will get you well over 1,000 megabytes per second, read and write on a USB device. Those data points were all measured with crystal disk. Passmark was a little bit lower. For conclusion, next one, improve efficiency of large file transfers. So I tested 4 different file formats. We have a zip archive and 2 video files of different sizes, around 1 gig, 10 gig, and a 32 gig. And check out those speeds as well as thermals. So we saw up to about 65 peak for the EZCAST adapter, and we actually saw a nice reduction on the ROG, but the reduction wasn't as great as I would hope for. We had a peak temperature there of, I forget the numbers, what was it, 55 on average? The peak that I saw was 62 degrees on the ROG. So interesting. Now, conclusions, key data summary. Check out those values. We got average file speed, very similar. Peak temperature, similar, but a 3-degree difference between those two adapters, with the ROG obviously being lower. The time, that's for a 32 gig file transfer, they were incredibly similar. And a max read and write was really similar as well. So conclusion, the EZCAST might be the better value. You can buy 3 of them for the price of one ROG Orion. But it's up to you. Make your own informed decision. That's it for now. Stay tuned for more content. I'll see you guys on the next one.